Honda dealerships are ripping off owners with scams that cost thousands. 76% of Honda owners report being recommended unnecessary services, and 73% say they've been overcharged for parts or labor. Just last month, a Civic owner paid $1,200 for transmission work that was never done. The dealer just cleaned the old fluid and charged for new. In this video, I'm exposing the 6 biggest Honda dealership scams mechanics use to drain your wallet. Stick with me because scam number 1 is costing Honda owners more than any other trick, and most don't even realize they're being scammed. Scam 6, blinding you with technical jargon. Honda service advisors love to throw around complicated terms to scare you into expensive repair. They'll say your Civic needs VTEC solenoid synchronization diagnostics, or your CRV requires multi-point fuel system recalibration. Sounds serious, right? Here's the truth. They're using fancy words to describe simple problems. That VTEC diagnostic, it's usually just a dirty VTEC solenoid screen that takes 10 minutes to clean for free. That fuel system recalibration, it's often just a clogged fuel filter that costs $30 to replace. I've had Honda owners come to me in panic after being told their engine needed $2,800 in work. When I inspected it, the problem was a $15 air filter and loose MAF sensor connector. The dealership's fancy language was nothing but smoke and mirror. Here's how to protect yourself. Ask the service advisor to explain the problem in simple terms. A good mechanic should be able to tell you what's wrong without using complicated jargon. If they can't, or if they get defensive when you ask questions, walk away. Also, learn basic Honda terminology. You don't need to become a mechanic, but knowing what a PCV valve does or where your oil dipstick is makes it harder for dealerships to trick you. Don't let fancy words scare you into unnecessary repairs. If it sounds too complicated to be real, it probably is. Scam 5, unnecessary fluid flushes and add-on services. This is the cash cow that pads dealership profit. You bring your Honda in for an oil change, and suddenly they're recommending $800 worth of fluid flushes. Common upsells include transmission fluid flushes, power steering flushes, throttle body services, and brake pad replacements when there's still 20 to 30% brake life left. The problem is, most of these services aren't needed nearly as often as dealerships claim. Let's talk transmission fluid first. Honda manuals don't even recommend flushes. Honda recommends simple drain and fill services at specific intervals, usually 60,000 to 100,000 miles depending on your model. Yet I've seen dealerships push $300 transmission flushes on Accords with only 30,000 miles. Brake fluid is another big one. Honda recommends brake fluid replacement every 3 years, not every single visit. But dealerships love to scare you with talk about moisture contamination and suggest changing it annually. And here's the worst one, power steering flush. Most modern Hondas from 2012 onwards use electric power steering. There's no hydraulic fluid to flush, but shady dealerships still try to sell that service to owners who don't know better. Know your owner's manual. Honda puts the maintenance schedule right there, telling you exactly when fluids need service. If a dealership recommends a flush that isn't in your manual or isn't due yet, question it hard. Don't be afraid to say no on the spot. You're not required to buy every service they suggest. Get a second opinion from an independent Honda specialist if you're unsure. Scam 4, extra faults during inspection. Your Honda runs perfectly fine. You bring it in for routine maintenance, and suddenly the service advisor hits you with a list of problems. Brakes are worn, suspension needs work, engine has leaked. The bill? $2,500 in repair. Here's what's happening. Some dealerships train techs to find problems that don't exist or exaggerate minor issues into major repair. Every extra job means more profit. This is frustrating for Honda owners because these cars are built to last. A well-maintained Civic or Accord doesn't need constant repairs. Yet dealerships act like your 80,000-mile Honda is falling apart. I've had customers show up after inspection failures only to discover the urgent repairs weren't needed. How to avoid this? Build a relationship with an independent Honda specialist. Ask friends or family for recommendations. Someone who specializes in Hondas will know what these cars actually need. Don't take the dealership's word at face value. Question surprise repair list. If your Honda drove fine when you brought it in, why does it suddenly need $2,000 in work? Get a second opinion before authorizing major work. Most times, you'll find those urgent repairs can wait or aren't needed at all. Scam 3. Overcharging for parts and labor. Honda dealerships mark up parts far beyond reasonable prices, counting on owners not knowing actual cost. A Honda Accord alternator costs $180 online. Dealerships charge over $550 for the same part before labor. That's triple the actual cost. Brake pads are worse. Quality front pads for a Civic cost $60. Dealerships charge $200 to $250 for identical pad. Labor rates are inflated too. Brake pad replacement on a CRV takes 1.5 hours. Some dealerships charge for 3 to 4 hours, making you pay double. Compare part prices before agreeing to work. Call your Honda dealer's parts desk for a price quote. Search online to see actual costs. Never agree to work without a written estimate showing parts and labor costs. That protects you from surprise charges. If the dealership's price is way higher than online prices, question it. Honda parts are widely available and competitively priced. If they're charging luxury car prices for Civic parts, walk away. Scam 2. Charging for parts that haven't been replaced. This scam relies on trust. Unless you inspect your Honda yourself, you can't tell if a part was actually replaced. I've seen Honda owners pay hundreds for repairs never done. One customer paid $650 for a new starter. When I checked, the starter was the same old one, just cleaned up. Another trick is spray painting old parts to make them look new. I've seen this with alternators, valve covers, and timing chain covers. The dealership bills you for new OEM parts, but installs your cleaned up old part. Ask to see the old parts that were replaced. A reputable shop will put old components in your trunk and explain what failed. That's proof the work was done. If a dealership refuses to show old parts, gets defensive, or says they had to throw them away, that's a red flag. Take before and after photos if you're concerned. A quick photo of your engine bay before service gives you proof if something looks suspiciously similar after a replacement. Scam 1. Counterfeit parts sold as genuine Honda part. This is the most dangerous scam because it puts your safety at risk. Counterfeit auto parts are a $3 billion problem, and Honda owners aren't immune. Fake parts look identical to genuine Honda parts with logos and packaging, but they're cheap knockoffs with no quality control. Counterfeit brake pads can crumble in emergency. Fake airbags might not deploy. Counterfeit oil filters can disintegrate and destroy your engine. Your best defense is knowing your source. At a Honda dealership, ask where they source parts. Genuine Honda parts come sealed from Honda's distribution network. If they dodge questions, that's a warning. Be suspicious of prices too good to be true. Genuine Honda brake pads cost $150 to $200. If someone offers genuine pads for $50, you're buying fakes. Counterfeit parts could cost you your life. Always verify the source. These 6 Honda dealership scams cost owners thousands every year. Now you know what to watch for and how to protect yourself. Your Honda was built to last 300,000 miles with proper maintenance. Don't let dishonest dealerships convince you it needs constant expensive repairs. Basic maintenance and honest service is all your Honda needs. If this video saved you from getting ripped off, hit that subscribe button. Check out my next videos.